Hi guys, I'm Marco Robinson, #1 best-selling author and award-winning entrepreneur. Now, you can see on this board it says, be an award-winning entrepreneur. So the question is, would you like to be an award-winning entrepreneur and create your own businesses that give you new income streams so you don't have to work for people that you don't want to work for, and you don't have to generate a salary that is not really enough to pay even the bills you've got right now. Now, the great news is that to be an entrepreneur is actually not that difficult. What an entrepreneur is basically someone who thinks of an idea that sounds pretty crazy to everyone around them and all the world, but that idea becomes a reality because that idea is created or basically has found a gap in the market which needs filling. Now, this can be a brand new idea where it's a brand new business, or it could be an existing business in a different way. Lots of things. Think of Uber that revolutionized private hire companies and taxis. Think of Airbnb that revolutionized accommodation around the world. Think of, I don't know, Apple that revolutionized the way that people use devices, whether it's an iPhone, a Mac, or what the hell it is, or an iPod even. You know, think of all those things around you. Think of WhatsApp. Think of Facebook. Think of all these things that are going on around you right now. And those started off as just ideas. And look what they are now. WhatsApp was bought for over $1 billion from Facebook. Oculus was bought for over $1 billion from Facebook. All these apps are getting bought out for billions and billions. Uber now is worth over $50 billion, latest valuation. Airbnb over $15 billion. These businesses, some of them only started 2 years ago, even less than a year, some of them. This is how crazy, people get for things once you've got the right idea. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to think of an idea, and then you've got to basically get that idea into a structure that can be used by the consumer. Now, we've all seen lately through technology the use of apps. So people now, of course, are using apps on their phone all the time to do anything like order food, like date, like make phone calls. Everything is going on through an app. And what this means is that right now it's very inexpensive to start a company because you don't need an office, you don't need staff, you don't need hard products to stock inventory with. What technology has done for the entrepreneur is probably the most in an entrepreneur's world, because that technology has allowed an entrepreneur to basically start a business without office staff or stock. And what that means is that you can start off with very low capital. And sometimes if the idea is that good, you can actually take it to another level by getting people to invest in the idea with you and sharing that idea out and making even more money. So, give you an example, PayPal was a 0 to 1 business, according to Peter Thiel, who was a major shareholder and benefactor in that business. And what PayPal did, it took the way of paying for things online to a higher level and a safer level, so people could actually move money around a lot easier. Because before that, when you think about going to banks and filling out forms and God knows what, it's a real pain in the ass, seriously. It's just inconvenient. So, the best businesses out there, the ones that really are 0 to 1 in Peter Thiel's book that he explains about, where it makes a difference enough that people are going to use your product. Now, the reason I'm talking about this subject is because, #1, I am an award-winning entrepreneur, and I'm not saying that to boast to you. I'm saying that because, where my background is nothing like that at all. I left school at 16 years old as a school dropout, didn't pass any of my exams, didn't go to university, didn't go to college, didn't do anything like that. Didn't do anything conventional in terms of my background. My mum left my dad when I was 2 years old. He was a gambler. He took all the money. She had no money to eat even, so she had to move around the UK every 6 months looking for a new job that was better paid. And I just remember going to different schools all the time and getting bullied in every new school because that's really what happens as a kid. And, I wasn't very happy because we had no money. Sometimes we had to sleep in the park. That's my background. Seriously, I have had a seriously hard background in terms of hardship and struggle. And that struggle has really, for me, created, an entrepreneur mind, because I always wanted to get out of that pain and develop something that was good for me, that I was happy with, and also give back to other people, such as my mum, because, she had a really tough life, and I was able, with the wealth that I've created, to basically give her a great life and also help other people in that situation, other unfortunate people that have been through that. Now, in 2009, I became an award-winning entrepreneur with a situation I was in, because at that time in 2009, my marriage wasn't very good at all. It was breaking down. I wasn't working in a job. I didn't have a lot of money at all. However, I had written a book that became a #1 bestseller, but of course book royalties are not really that much. Even if you have a #1 bestseller, sometimes they're not enough to pay the mortgage, right? So I basically was thinking, how can I develop an idea which is going to make me a lot of money so I don't have to work again, and I can create a lot of wealth for myself. So literally I had a 20-year-old Volvo car, and you know, I had a laptop that was borrowed, and I had a cafe that I used to go to for a cup of tea and a burger every day, and that was my life for about 6 months. And every day I was thinking, what can I do, what can I do, what can I do? Until eventually I had an idea, a big crazy idea, and this crazy idea, when I thought of it, I thought, this sounds interesting. And I kept asking questions. How can I make this a reality? How can I make money from this idea? How can I help other people make money from this idea? Because a big point of being an entrepreneur is how you can make other people make money from your idea in the first place. So like Uber made money for people that have spare time and don't have a lot of income, that they can drive their own cars around and make money. So things like that is what I really mean. So I developed an idea, and I basically used that restaurant as my office. I didn't have any staff. I created a presentation, created a website, paid so little money for this, and within 1 year, generated over $12 million in income from that one idea in business. Became 2009 Entrepreneur of the Year, and after that, I created more businesses, moving on from that idea because it gave me a lot more confidence as an entrepreneur. Now, that was an amazing thing for me to happen to my life. It was a dream come true, put it that way. And that idea spurred me on to do other things. Now, the reason that I'm telling you all this story is because I'm going to be doing a live webinar about how to be an award-winning entrepreneur and get recognized really for what your ideas are, to get your idea out there and to get your idea financed and raise capital to do it. And this live webinar, I'm going to be talking how to be an entrepreneur and the 11 steps of how to succeed in business, how to start the idea, how to raise the capital to do it, how to create the structure to do the business plan, and how to do it with minimal costs and generate maximum profit. It's an amazing webinar. It's going to be at least an hour, probably 2 hours, because I talk a lot, and there's going to be lots of questions you're going to probably think about when you're thinking about doing this. It's not just for beginners entrepreneurs, it's also for experienced entrepreneurs. Now, the webinar is exciting because in that webinar, I also talk about branding. Because one of my passions is being able to get an idea and brand it differently. And I started this idea, became Entrepreneur of the Year in 2009. I thought, what else can I do? Now I've got more time and money, what else can I do to create a brand? So I studied branding. I studied what differentiates brands and other brands. I found out that people actually follow brands because, first of all, if the design is really cool and different, people actually follow that more than, say, one that's not. People follow a brand because it gives them more value. People follow a brand because it's cooler. It's like more of a lifestyle. So I thought, how can I be different? Now, one of the things I always wanted to do for quite a number of years was open my own restaurant. Not really to make loads of money, but really as a hobby. And in 2013, I was able to succeed in doing that. And that wasn't an easy story because I was opening that with my partner at the time, and it changed, and I had to leave it for 6 months and blah, blah, blah. But I eventually decided to get naked. And I was thinking, what can I call this restaurant? So, well, why don't I call it Naked? And when I got this idea, I thought, this is crazy. I can't call a restaurant Naked. People are going to think people are wearing no clothes there. But actually, I did call it Naked. And we opened in December 2013. And that restaurant now, believe it or not, has actually just won a really cool award called the Tatler's Best Restaurants 2015 award, which is, I'd never expected that, really, at all. And the reason this restaurant is called Naked is because it's really cool. It has got a really cool vibe. The cocktails are beautiful. The food is fantastic. And also the music is great. And one of those things within that business was, how can I create more traffic, more foot flow, and more attention? So I started a singing competition called Naked and Unsigned. And what that did is it attracted a lot of people to the restaurant. I gave a first prize away, We had some amazing singers in, and we basically got traffic from all over the world, which made the restaurant more popular. So I spent my time developing that brand, and once I got the restaurant, I decided, well, what can I do with this Naked brand to diversify the brand? I thought, well, why not we do Naked Pizza? Why not we develop pizza? Because the pizza became the most popular dish in the restaurant. It was just so popular and requested all the time. After surveying the customers, I thought, why don't we start a delivery service? So we started a delivery service called Naked Pizza, get it hot and naked within 30 minutes. That was really cool. And then we thought, well, the coffee's something is also massive industry, like, you know, Starbucks, like Coffee Bean, like Costa. It would cost millions of pounds for franchise, and thought, why not start Naked Coffee? So we started Naked Coffee. And literally last month, I started Naked Beauty, which is actually a beauty salon, where we do lashes, we do makeup, we do spray tans, we do nails, all these sort of things. It's actually a beauty salon, but also it's having a naked makeup range as well. So with one brand, you can do amazing things. You can diversify into other brands, just like Richard Branson and Virgin. You know, he's got about 200 companies within just one brand. So on this webinar, this live webinar, it's going to be amazing content, how you can go from where you are now into literally an award-winning entrepreneur within a year, even months. Believe it or not, you can do that. So please register for the webinar right now and get yourself into this place where you can really start to really make this a reality, because you're going to be learning from me, who's got a successful track record already in entrepreneurship and creating other businesses with more income streams. And really, if you think about this, the average millionaire has about 7 streams of income. And a lot of millionaires, what they do is they create more businesses. So please register now and be an award-winning entrepreneur. This is Marco Robinson. Thank you.